All right. I just listened to a podcast, or actually a YouTube video from a creator named Black Pilled, and I respect his work. He's a good man, and he has a positive message. A lot of his videos seem to have a negative undertone, but it's only because he's trying to dispel a lot of the fucking weird and evil shit going on in our, in our world today, as we know it. Oh, by the way, happy July. The fuck day is it? In this mortal coil. Oh yeah, it's July 6th. Just want to say, fucking happy birthday, America. Happy belated birthday. July 4th. Netflix came out with Stranger Things season 3. And I marathoned that and neglected all of my other duties. No, I didn't neglect all of my other duties. I pretty much multitasked and did a whole bunch of IT stuff for several different clients. After working for a goddamn long 3-day week doing construction. No, it was Canada Day last Monday. And I've got a video for the Canada Day production with my very, very enchanting and beautiful friend, Brandy McLaughlin. You can find her on the Facebook. You can and just look, whatever the hottest Brandy McLaughlin comes up with, it is probably the one, because she's super sexy and she knows how to handle a microphone, and she's a bit sassy. She's not one of these SJW types. She's not a feminist. No, she's just a good hands-on reporter. And we went out and did some reporting. We pretty much just annoyed everybody we possibly could with the camera and the microphone. But most people just walked up to us anyway. So, I digress. So that's that. And what else we got? Canada Day passed, and then that was July 1st. And then July 4th, the American Independence Day was awesome. I'm sure I wasn't there anywhere where they celebrated anything, so I'm talking out of my ass. But hey, at the end of the day, Netflix decided that they wanted to have a celebration of their own and release Stranger Things season 3, which I totally got balls deep into and pretty much marathoned it and watched it over the course of 2.5 days. Or no, 1.5 days. My bad. And I probably will do a review on that on one of my other YouTube channels somewhere, because I have a lot of things to say about that show. So back to Black Pilled. This guy was on about a few different things, and one of the biggest things was how, okay, in his experience, he had a very Christian upbringing, and even listening to things like 9 Inch Nails and, watching the movie Seven invoked feelings like he was doing something wrong. And I completely get it. From a non-religious perspective, I completely get it. I completely understand. Black Pill, don't worry. I'm with you on this. Now, I'm not, in particular, I don't necessarily believe in God. Not by name. I know I'm like an agnostic atheist or something along those lines. I just personally just don't kind of involve myself in the bigger picture when I don't understand what the bigger picture is. And I don't know if you can put a label onto that. I'm not even looking for a label, which is why I kind of laugh when I say I'm an agnostic or I'm an atheist. Look, I don't have the answers, and I don't care if you think that you do, but don't try to convince me that you do. Don't try to look. All of the science journals that we've been growing up with have been mostly prepared to create the button pushers and the lever pullers of our current day society. Am I not right? And that is, or those are both euphemisms for the fact that, well, that's all they need. The big picture only needs button pushers and lever pullers. You know, to be fair. Now, you need some smart people, but those smart people, you need to contain them, because the smart people are the ones that could fucking understand what you're trying to do in the first place. So you need to compartmentalize them in the first place. Make sure that you have distributed languages for each career in such a fashion that a plumber can't talk to an electrician, or, you know, and I see it. Like, I'm only working in construction to pay the bills now. I'm a 45-year-old man and doing a first-year apprenticeship in carpentry because it pays the bills. And I'm living in a place where there's a lot of, construction work. Why am I doing that when I do this other stuff? Well, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Because I don't believe in working for people. I like to work for myself, and I like to take the hard way out every time. But I digress. But no, seriously, I was thinking about this. And no, the gentleman from the channel, Blackpilled, mentioned how he felt like something was wrong listening to things like Nine Inch Nails, but it was like a drug. And, you know, he kept on having to listen to it. I'm not going to get into specifics about his video. I will include it in the description below. But my point is that, no, he actually touched on something and sparked another argument that I have. And I don't want to take away from his video and his interpretation of his experience at all, because you know what? As soon as he said that, it actually literally, it manifested a feeling that I had going through my life, where music was my life at one point, where it was a drug. Music was a complete drug. In fact, to the point where I was writing lyrics for hip hop songs at the age of like 13. I know it sounds silly, but this progressed all the way up until I was about, almost 19 years of age. And then I became a band manager in Hamilton. But the progression of getting to there was that music was my life. And it invoked that feeling that one has when you hear certain tracks, and making and inventing and being a creative, being an artist. That started to entice me so much more, and I desperately tried to attempt that. And for the most part, my locality where I was in Hamilton, guess what? It did work for a while, and never progressed beyond that to the point of like a national success. No, not by any stretch, not at all. But I mean, even my meager 2,000 subscribers on YouTube is more of a success than what I did in my entire music career. But guess what? That's where things went sideways, and I left that life, and I decided to get into like C++ programming. And, you know, I moved to another town called Kitchener, and then I took a venture trading capital course. Gonna have to delete that from the record. I took a venture training course to create my own business, and pretty much ran a successful business for 5 years after that, doing website design and stuff. In a world, it was early on. This is a cusp of like 2000. Like, this was during the time of the Y2K bug and all that bullshit. and the collapse of the .com business infrastructure. Yeah, that's right. I didn't have any stakes in that. Thank the fuck. But Jesus, yes. Yeah, no. I was just running a hands-on private web design company in a town where, there was a lot of businesses that needed that service, and I did well for 5 years. Now, why didn't I propel from there? All right. Well, that's, bad breakup with an ex-girlfriend, moving from that town to another city. I moved from Kitchener to Toronto, and I decided to become exclusive to a certain customer because, well, okay, all right. Here's the anatomy of a business failure. You move out of your locality and all your local customers are like, oh, shit, we are a homegrown, company and we want to associate ourselves with other homegrown companies. And since you moved to Toronto, go fuck yourself. We don't want nothing to do with you. And that's exactly what happened. I lost 80% of my business, moving to Toronto from Kitchener-Waterloo. And God damn it. It is what it is. I left because I had to go and get away from the ghosts of my relationship past. And, it took me even 10 years just to talk to the person again that I broke up with. And slowly we've been getting each other's respect over the years since we resumed, some kind of a connection, I guess. Anyway, that's not the point of the conversation here, though. It's the whole, I ran a business, and, well, quite frankly, music was out of the question even then. Pretty much 2003, 2004, going into 2006, music started to slow down as an inspiration for me. And now that I'm a content creator, a photographer, a video editor, and then I work in construction, the only time I hear music is when it's on the radio in the construction site. Or if I'm driving in a car, mine or someone else's, and they got the radio on. It's the only time I listen to music anymore. I can't listen to music when I'm video editing. I can't listen to music while I'm writing stories like Memoirs of a Time-Traveling Idiot or The Echelon Agreement. And it's weird because, I cut that out cold turkey, the listening to music, which used to be my biggest drug. And this is going back now. This is the relationship going back to Black Pill's podcast about music being a drug and something is wrong. I can't stand, I don't go out of my way anymore to listen to any of the new music because it all feels wrong. All of it feels like it's contrived. It feels like it's setting people up. One of the best times in music, I have to say, was 1994. The most recent best time for music was 1994, in my opinion. People may disagree, but at the end of the day, 1994 was the best time for music because so much experimental stuff came out. And yes, I know, a lot of devil worship music came out and blah, blah, blah. But so did a lot of great ideas and meshings of different things. Whether or not it was wrong or not isn't the case. But how music can be a drug, I totally confirm what Black Pill is saying there. And, I quit it cold turkey just like I quit injecting cocaine cold turkey many, many years ago, over 11 years ago. So at the end of the day, you can control how you feel about things, but don't let it control you, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I don't even know if there was a point to this. And this was far from a comedy. And I just wanted to express what I had to say here now. This was, it is what it is. Get the fuck out of my face.